Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the cabin. Look what I'm sporting right here. I'll tell you what, Patrick is really good about getting me the tools that I need. Not the ones that I want, but the ones that I need. That is called a nibbler by Milwaukee. What it's designed to do is to cut metal. What it does is inside this housing right here, it's like a punch. And so when you feed the metal in this direction, it kind of acts like a punch, and it punches out little half-moon pieces at a time. It's run by a 12-volt battery back here. It's got an adjustment right here on the side for the RPMs, or how fast it goes. But and it's also got a little bitty pouch that hangs on the end to catch the shavings if you want it. But this, you know, when we built the cabin here, we left an overhang, right? And we weren't kind of undecided about how we were going to do the fascia. But at any rate, I need to trim back about an inch. The same being down there on the workshop, I need to trim back about an inch. Now, it flows really well just like it is, but sometimes we get some real toad stranglers here, or the preacher used to call them real trash movers. I'm talking about heavy rain, and it could come off there fast enough where it might overshoot the gutter, but it would have to be awfully heavy, because we had a heavy rain just as we finished putting the guttering on when my son was here helping me, and it actually ran right off down into the gutter. Now you might say, well, I wouldn't do nothing about it. Well, I may or I may not, but if this thing works like I think it does, it will be a breeze just to be able to cut that off. Now I've got a piece of metal out there. We'll go out here in just a little bit and try it out, but from what I've seen on YouTube about these right here, they are the trick. So once I get that cut off, the next step would be like kind of thinking about my catching the water off of the roof, right? I don't have the gutters up on the cabin yet, but I will think about doing that down there. I'm probably going to have to move a really large wood pile in order to do it, so I don't know if that's going to happen quite yet. But I do have everything temporary where all the water runs off the bank back there. But that is on my mind, to be able to catch the water, because that's going to be a good size roof once I get that building done, as well as this cabin here. Now just this cabin alone, at the average rainfall in Tennessee, will capture, and this is 39 feet long, 26 feet wide, not including the front porch, but that size right there, the square footage, and our average rainfall here, I could catch 38,000 gallons of water annually. So I don't know what I would do with all of that water. So when you combine that with the water that I would get off of the timber frame workshop down there, of course we're going to tear down the sawmill and put a gazebo there, but you know, I could catch some at the outdoor kitchen, and like I've talked about, and running that down into a faucet or a reservoir to be able to wash dishes and things like that up there. I can have it run over and hit the upper garden up there. I can catch water up there where the chicken house is, because all the buildings have metal on them, and I could not have to water them, not even have to worry about it, you know. So, but, you know, like I said, I can't really use that much water, so I'm going to have overflows on all of those, and probably the majority of it will go in the overflow, because what would I do with it, right? Yeah, I can irrigate the garden, but you can only do that so much. I can irrigate the yard, but you can only do that so much. So I'll be able to get, I'll be up near, what, 100,000 gallons a year. How would I use that much with all of these buildings that I've got? So, but anyway, yeah, I'm excited about getting out there and trying this out. So let's run out there where I got that piece of metal. I'm going to clean it up, and then we'll give this a shot and see how it'll do. Alright, I got this piece of metal actually on here with a couple of clamps, not anything big deal, because it'll still move. But we're just going to see how this thing is going to work here. When I look at that, it rode right up and over that with no problem at all. I can also turn it and go different directions, so that will be nice. And I think that even that cut is a lot better than the one that I would get with that skill saw. So those were the little half moon shavings that this thing punches out. I don't know if you can see that, but right in there, there's a little piece that slides backwards and forward. Let me see if I can get it to go. And that's what actually punches out those little half moon shavings. So that is really nice to have. Of course, I think if I give myself a line, I could follow that from up on the roof if I needed to. Of course, I've got the scaffolding down there now where I can get up there and trim that back off just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, even with the 5-inch gutters down there, with having the overhang that I did, which was about 2 inches, that was a little bit too much. So I need to trim back about 1 inch off of that, and then that will give me about that much fall into the gutter. So that'll be really good. Yeah, I think this tool is really going to work well. Now, this wasn't cheap. I think Patrick paid somewhere in the neighborhood, that and the battery, about $250. But it's something that, you know, it just beats trying to drag the cord around for that big saw, which, you know, I don't have to do that. I could take the metal blade off and put it on my cordless, but it's really hard to steer that thing and hang on to it when you're up there on top, and it's not versatile like this. This is kind of like a jigsaw. Okay, you can cut, do corners, you can go up and over, so because this head sticking down allows me to be able to turn and to come up and then to ride and go over. So that's really nice. But yeah, I think that this tool right here is going to be a really nice tool to have, especially when it comes to doing things with metal. Well, I guess you can tell I'm sitting out here enjoying this nice fall weather, and yes, it turned off cool. But I still wanted to share with you something that Jennifer brought to my attention, which is this. This is the coolest thing. Basically, it's a light bulb. You can take and you can screw it in, and what it does is it charges up. Okay, now here's one of the switches. It's got that cool little hanger on it, so you just put it on the end. Then after it charges for a while, you can take it and hang it up by that little hanger right there. I thought that was just so cool. And I told her, I said, well, leave that with me because I will show that on camera, because I've not seen one of these before, but it must have some sort of a battery on the inside, and I don't know what wattage it is, but yeah, you can just take that thing out, and I think it works up to 4 hours. It'll hang there and run like that for 4 hours. So in the event that you had a power outage or something like that, or maybe just needed a light to walk around with, that's pretty cool, because all you got to do is hold that in your hand, and it really emits a pretty good light at nighttime. So anyway, I thought I would share that with you guys. You know, when I first started up here, I actually have probably a complete set of corded tools, and then my son started buying me cordless tools, just like the one that I showed you earlier, that Nibbler. So if you all see me using something up here that you think is cool or is unique or you haven't ever seen before, I did a video not long ago about corded versus cordless tools. Click up here in the top right hand corner when my son first started replacing everything that I had up here. I think you'll enjoy it. Friends, thanks so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.